Let me read a portion of the IMF report we relied on rather in extenso to cover all the areas so that the public would know that the minority does its research and does not just blow hot air. Again, for those other media houses who would want to do fact check, I would plead with them to read the IMF report, seek expert support in giving true meaning to it. Now, this is what...
First of all, who was the IMF writing to?
No, this is the report they've issued.
What is it for? The report is for...
No, the report is on Ghana. This IMF report, Ghana, selected issues.
So they publish on their website?
Yes. Okay. This is selected issues, dated August 26, that they served as a copy as a minority.
Okay.
Right. So this is what it says. Where I'm quoting, quote, in 2025, and this is paragraph 13, page 10 of the report. Quote, in 2025, the significant scaling up of the DGPP, that's a domestic gold purchase program, operations, led to losses of over $1.7 billion, which is 1.5% of GDP, almost entirely related to the gold for reserves doré purchases. This amounted to a loss of 17% of the value of gold sold by BOG. Losses accrued on gold trade are a combination of service and asset fees paid to gold board, discount on gold sold to off-takers, and most importantly, exchange rate losses from spread between Forex Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and city reference rate used for BOG accounting, into bracket C figure 7. Now, it goes on to say, survey data suggests that Ghanaian artisanal gold mining, that ASGM, prices are among the highest in the region. These accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic costs, but they still weaken the BOG balance sheet and imply transfer to recipient of FX at reference rate. I will stop there. Now, let me give you the breakdown. One, the government has given an impression that there is always an economic cost to implementing a policy. I agree that there is always an economic cost. The Gold Board itself, in responding to us, argued that their activities have helped stabilize the city. That is what they said.
Yeah.
That they've sold so much gold and that has helped stabilize the city. Now, by that expression, they are suggesting that Ghanaians should forget about the costs and look at the benefits. But what the IMF is saying, that upon analysis of the whole transaction, the whole policy, the gaps they find, the loopholes, the weakness in the policy itself, okay, makes them conclude that the losses are as a result of some other inefficiencies.
They mentioned some of them.
It's there. Yes, that's the list they provided.
Okay, take us through it.
Oh, again, right. So they said exchange rate losses from the spread between Forex Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the city reference rate used for BOG accounting.
What problem is that?
What they are basically...
Yeah. So you
the analysis...
you take the money from BOG in cedis.
Right.
Then you buy dollar rates from the gold people.
And then when they
say it's very expensive in the
right.
region. Okay, go on.
So they are saying that these accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic costs. I just want to stay there and make some explanation. You see, they've always argued that there is always an economic cost, which I say I concede. That in implementing any policy,
like free SHS,
you would incur some cost.
Yeah.
But the IMF is indicting that, questioning that position. Is indicting them by saying that these losses are not as a result of the economic cost that you want Ghanaians to believe that yes, you are implementing, but at a cost. They are rather identifying that in the value chain of the transaction, certain challenges that you yourself, by way of your policy, you could not put in place to help you manage the whole program. The next point, the argument of the Gold Board chief executive is to the effect that these losses have nothing to do with Gold Board.
Yes, he makes that point.
Right. And that it's entirely the responsibility of Bank of Ghana. I would address both. One, it is factually inaccurate to argue that the losses are not attributable to Gold Board. Why do I say so? I draw my fortification from the report. In the report, the IMF says that losses accrued on gold trade are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board.
So the losses are at that level because some money was paid to Gold Board for asset fees.
This $1.7 billion amount is the losses that IMF identified in their audits, in their report, when the BOG itself opened its books. You know, these...
So it's like an audit they are doing?
Yes, virtually. And before they came out with their final report, they issued a draft report, which the government itself did not challenge. They don't just get up and issue this final report. So, on point one, the argument that the losses as registered in BOG books have nothing to do with Gold Board is inaccurate. That is not correct. Because the report itself is stating that these losses are as a result of the Gold Board asset fees paid to them. They paid
is that
it to
not
them.
a regular part of the business, paying the asset fees to the Gold Board person?
That is not the argument. We, in our press statement, question the policy. All right? You see, sometimes maybe people listen to social media and then they don't get the exact facts. So they get emotional and start attacking. The minority's position in response to this was to the effect that government gold for reserve policy has failed. Two, their initial argument that there is always an economic cost to implementing policy is neither here nor there because the loopholes, the inherent challenges in the implementation of the policy itself, okay, leading to this report that IMF says that, look, you have incurred certain losses and these losses are not attributable to economic costs. It was your failure in policy. And we said that yes, although these losses are in the books of Bank of Ghana, the IMF itself is saying, yes, we've identified the losses in the books of Bank of Ghana because it's Bank of Ghana they audited. But the losses are as a result of the Gold Board activities and operations.
Like paying asset fees.
Of course. And then the exchange rate losses.
Yeah.
Right. It is not us.
Let me take you back.
Who are saying that.
Let me take you back. So
but these are the facts.
When we say losses from a report like that, do we mean the IMF identified X amount of money went into the Gold Board, the domestic purchase program, and X amount of money came out, and the difference is 1.7 billion. Is that what it means?
They have summarized that in effect, the trading activity in the whole transaction value chain, and they've listed all the fees and charges,
yes, I guess
all of it combined to be.
But their starting point is a certain amount of money that was committed to this. Is that not their starting point?
No, that's not what they've said. They have rather given you a total amount of losses incurred, which amounted to $1.7 billion, equivalent of 22 billion.
What are they subtracting from to get the losses?
Obviously, if they look at your transaction.
So they see how much money you put in it.
And yes.
And how much money you got out of it. And the difference
is what the losses that they have.
Okay, correct. I get that. So there's a clear loss on you took 100 cedis into this project, you are bringing back 70 cedis. So there's a 30 cedi loss. Now, that loss, you are saying that as minority, you concede that a policy may have losses. But this particular loss, you are saying that has been attributed to, I don't think dereliction of duty, but attributed to certain things that were not.
It's policy failure.
Policy failure.
Because
so these losses are attributed largely to policy
not
failure.
Not largely. If you say largely, it means that some.
Yeah, because you are conceding that there will be some
attributable
losses.
To policy failure.
Okay, and they are pointing to those places.
Yes. So let's read it again.
All right,
because sometimes
now we can go.
Right. So let's read it again. These accounting losses partly reflect valuation effect rather than economic costs. Now let me take you back.
Let's interrogate that valuation effect rather than.
Yes. Okay. So it's that line is giving effect to the explanatory notes that precedes it.
Yeah.
So I will go back to the point again. It says in 2025, the significant scaling up of the domestic gold purchase operations led to losses of over $1.7 billion, equivalent of 1.5% of GDP, almost entirely related to the gold for reserve purchases. All right? This amounted to a loss of 17% of the value of the gold sold by BOG. Then it goes further. Losses accrued on gold trades are a combination of service and asset fees paid to Gold Board. Let me stop there. And
Gold Board has been mentioned.
It's there. It's not me.
As being directly responsible for some part of the loss.
With respect, Paul, it is not a minority. It is not Afenyo Markins. It's not Afenyo Markins targeting somebody. It is not Afenyo Markins with respect who is manufacturing a story. I am not a member of the IMF. I am not a member of government. And I wasn't there when all these things were being prepared. And the IMF relied on data given it. Sometimes people also get it wrong. They say, oh, these multilateral institutions, they sit somewhere and they write their own report. No. They met them when they come to do their audit. It is the reports, the data that our own source supplies them, that they analyze and come out with their report. Two, when they are done with the report, they don't just issue it. They meet with government officials. They met with them. And then, they discuss the draft. Where the government has disagreement, government will say, no, this portion will disagree with you. So this report is a final product of consensus reached between the IMF and the government.
So this has not come as a surprise to either Bank of Ghana or Ministry of Finance.
Nobody should say that the minority is trying to make up a case. You see, you cannot be personal about this. It is a policy failure. And for us as opposition, we must relate this. Once the IMF says that these losses are attributable to the gold board operations and activities, we put out the fact. Now, granted without admitting, or let's say the losses are in the books of Bank of Ghana.
Yeah.
So Gold Board itself admit that these are losses, but it is not in their books.
They said they don't sell.
With respect, regardless, there are losses.
Yes.
All right? It's a financial loss to the states. You've not challenged it. What's the difference? I argue the alter ego principle. The trading activity, which was done by Bank of Gold Board, was financed by Bank of Ghana. You nominated them as your agent.
Who nominated who?
The Gold Board.
Nominated
in this context.
Yeah.
BOG was their agent.
To sell.
Of course.
Okay.
And then in the end, because the funds came from them, the accounting is recorded in their books. You say that it has nothing to do with you. But you are benefiting from the gains, and you say that you are surplus. And you are citing it in your audited account to tell the public that, oh, look at my audited account, it is clean. That's not the way it works. It's a two-way traffic. And that is why the IMA was clear that, yes, they identified the losses in the books of BOG, but they realized that the losses were as a result of activities undertaken on behalf of Gold Board. So, Paul, let me give it a very simple explanation. Somebody going into your books, your bank account, and realizing that you have a negative balance, but realizes that you issued a check to Mr. A, and that payment out of your account into his account is a credit
to him.
To him, then Mr. A, you are B, you are A, then Mr. B, you issued a check. Your account is reflecting a negative balance, right? Mr. B has received money from you. It's in positive, correct?
Yeah.
If Mr. B says that, oh, as for me, look at me, I have 100,000 cedis. Mr. B should tell you where he got that money from. Is it a loan? If it's a loan, is it a free money? If it's free money, tell us. Then we do the accounting and know that the source of that money is this. Is that correct? Then we can have a complete picture. But what Gold Board is telling us is that don't ask me questions. We shouldn't ask them questions about the trading activities. All they are interested in is that, look, as for them, they register surplus. As to what happened to BOG, they don't want to know. That is not right.
Also, something like
In any event, they themselves originally said, oh, it appears the IMF did not even understand the transaction. That was the response of the Gold Board chief executive earlier, that questioned the IMF's understanding of the transactions. But if you had questions, it is not us that you direct the questions at. You direct the questions at the IMF. You get the point. So I don't understand all these.
Let me see whether another analogy will work before we go to the
about
changing. 1 minute. Let me ask you, leader. So
why we shouldn't bring them in, and that why some people are even saying that, oh, the minority did not get it right. I'm sure those people have not read.
Let me do this analogy and see whether it fits with what you are saying. Maybe it's more simpler. So, like, Good Evening Ghana is Metro TV. So I go to Metro TV and I say, give me money, 10,000 cedis. I'm going to organize a program at British Council for Good Evening Ghana.
Correct.
I believe that people will attend the program. I'm charging 20 cedis. And if people attend the program, I'll get 20,000 cedis. I'll bring you back your 10,000. Then I go to the program and nothing happens. And I'm not able to pay Metro TV their 10,000. And then Metro TV has 10,000 losses. And then Metro TV say that this loss is because we financed Good Evening Ghana's program. And I say that, oh, it's not me. It's Metro TV who has lost the money.
But you are the beneficiary.
That's the kind of thing you are saying.
Exactly so.
Okay,
I mean,
so people can understand
by extension.
It. So why is the Bank of Ghana so quiet in all of this? And why didn't you mention the Bank of Ghana?
In our full press statement, we read the report. It is those state agencies, except that we only amplified the position of IMF that related it to the gold board. That is what IMF said. We said what the minority said was exactly what I have just read to you. IMF says that we have identified losses of $1.7 billion in the books of BOG. But these losses are attributable to Gold Board. Simplicity. That's what we said. What else should we say? It's not a matter of you didn't mention this. You see?
So Bank of Ghana does not only do Gold Board, they do many other things.
They were very specific.
Yeah, I get your point. I'm making a similar point, whether it's correct. Bank of Ghana does many things. They do Gold Board, they support Ministry of Finance, they support many things. IMF comes to audit them and identifies a loss and says that this your loss, it is the Gold Board activity.
Simply, that is plain language.
And then Gold Board says that it's not me, it's Bank of Ghana. I got a surplus. That's where we are.
For us, if Gold Board has anything to say, it should direct it at IMF, not us. Because this is plain language. It's not it's not technical. The selected issues, the section 13 or paragraph 13 of the report, page 10, is in plain language. We did not manufacture it. It is not the minority that is introducing Gold Board here. So all the winding explanations by government and by the gold board is neither here nor there. We just lifted the report, and all along, it is one simple statement we have made, that gold board has incurred these losses. It amounts to financial loss to the state. It is 1.9 billion USD, equivalent of 22 billion cedis, which we could have used to construct roads, build hospitals, schools, and even create fiscal space to employ more teachers and nurses. Now, we also came to that conclusion to disagree with government because the IMF went further to say that these losses cannot be considered as economic cost in the implementation of the policy. So now let's go back to the policy. What the IMF is saying that by the structure and design of the policy, these are the inherent weakness, okay, leading to these losses. If I were the gold board chief executive, I were government, I would rather commend the minority for being bold to amplify this, and rather in response say that, look, this was our first year of implementation. These are the weaknesses we identified, and we agree with the IMF. These are the steps we are taking to redeem the situation, but not attack. Now, if all is rosy, if the gold purchase program is doing well, why the reverse decisions? We know that the governor has made an announcement to the effect that they are no more going to finance this gold purchase program. That's what they have said.
They are pulling out from the policy.
Why did they pull out?
They have already announced the pullout.
Right.
So as we speak, they're out.
So, again, aren't we vindicated? And isn't IMF at least directing them to stay away from this, and haven't they publicly committed to that? Two, isn't Gold Board itself saying that they have entered into a new dispensation where they will now deal with, manage their own cash flow, forex? When they get their dollar in, they will do A, B, C, and D. We are not interested in what the cure. That one is a different matter. After a period, we will review and see whether or not you've been able to cure, and now the program is being implemented in a better way. But for now, what is under review is your year one of performance. Year one of performance is 2025. And those who audited you have come out with their verdict. The verdict is that you've incurred $22 billion CD losses, and that you cannot justify it with economic cost to policy implementation. So all the loud noise about the fact that, oh, you brought in so much forex and that has stabilized the CD and the economy is doing well, is not an argument that finds favor with the report before us. Because I'm sure government made all these arguments. But the bank and IMF, upon a holistic analysis of the entire transaction, identified that, look, you are paying so much charges here, there. These are identified weaknesses in the design of the policy. Now, let me also bring another important thing to your attention. When somewhere January, the minority read the interim report. You know, there was an interim report as of September, where the IMF initially talked about identifying $214 million. So when we met them, and then they brought it out.
You met
to us. We met the IMF. It's a public knowledge. We published it. We put it out there in the news that we, the minority, met the IMF, and we asked questions. And indeed, this was confirmed to us at the time. Immediately they confirmed that to us. We put it out. And that is what resulted in our filing of a motion asking for a full hearing in this whole transaction so that there will be clarity. Now, you may recall that as soon as we held the press conference and pointed out the 15% fees being paid, there was an emergency joint board meeting between Gold Board and Bank of Ghana. And they immediately, in that board meeting, they reviewed the fees to 9%. And subsequently held another meeting and reduced the fees further. Paul, sometimes our colleagues opposite must be a bit tolerant, be fair, and give us some credit. If everything was okay with it, why did they review from 15% to 9%? I'm not here to quote individuals who are in government and have problem with this transaction. I won't do that. I will remain focused and deal with the issues. If they say we are making empty noise, we are blowing hot air, why did they further reduce the fees to 5% and now wait for the 2027 budget? What they are going to do is to say that they are now going to factor all these charges in the budget as cost to stay so that they bring an expenditure item on this matter. So instead of paying attention to the issue, they believe that going to the gutters is the way out. Paul, I want to say something by way of conclusion. J.H. Mensah, of blessed memory, he was minority leader in the second parliament. He came under severe attack from government, the NDC. I recall, I was at UCC, Kivas. One morning, there was graphic front page, banner headline, where Tony Edu described J.H. Mensah. The headline was that J.H. Waboda Mensah. And the man accepted and said, J.H. Maboda Mensah. All reported by graphic, front page. What the attack is not new to me. It doesn't move me. All right? My predecessor, majority leader, Che Mensah, came under attack several times. I understand that as a leader in parliament, I have an honors tax to do heavy lifting for the party. Raise the issues, get them out, and expect that in the process, there will be attempts to bruise me. It's part of the game. This gold ball matter, when Kojo Oppong Nkrumah led the first press conference, the chief executive went personal, attacked him on Joy FM morning show, news file. Later on TV3, he attacked him and said, oh, Kojo doesn't know accounting. Meanwhile, Kojo did BCom at UCC.
I know that.
BCom is accounting.
Very much so.
Second, Adbuna Osei Asare, a chartered accountant, a formidable politician, hard-working minister of state, now chair of public account. She was the first to raise this thing. And when she raised it, she also came under attack. Unprintable words were used to describe a person. Then I said no. And then our policy coordinating committee sat together, analyzed this whole thing and said, look, the caucus must state its position on this. I speak for the caucus. So if we raise it and somebody thinks that it is Afenyo market, that's okay. It is Afenyo market. I knew what was ahead of me the very day I took this position. So I'm not worried. I will stay focused. This is it. Government must account for the losses. Government must explain. Gold Board was the ultimate beneficiary of this and would remain at the doorstep of Gold Board and ask them questions. The losses are attributable to them. Again, we promise the people of Ghana that we will deal with this within the rules of parliament. Fortunately, the Gold Board chief executive says he is ready to come to parliament.
He said he's going to beg the new majority leader.
Don't worry. It's okay. It's fine. We have filed the necessary processes. We don't just blow hot air. My colleagues have filed the motion. We have today at 12 noon, Paul, we filed the motion. Motion signed by respected Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, Chinubu Akodua, Jerry Shaib Ahmed, Vincent Asifua, Dr. Che Asamoah, and our ranking on Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam. We have put forward our argument. All the documents are tied there too for Speaker who has the power of admissibility to determine admissibility. This is not different from the earlier one that we filed and same was voted.
What's the motion asking for?
It's asking for, maybe I should read the terms of the motion. That this Honorable House, pursuant to Article 103 of the 1992 Constitution, and Standing Orders 204, 212, 213, 262, and 263, is moved to establish an ad hoc committee to investigate the circumstances under which the 1.7 billion US losses was incurred in gold trade transactions between Gold Board and the Bank of Ghana for 2025, and the circumstances under which the Bank of Ghana declared the loss at 9 billion cedis for the year 2025. Then we have stated the accompanying
So you're asking for the Speaker set up an ad hoc committee.
So since the Chief Executive has offered to come, I believe his party has heard him. We pray that the 189 majority will not stampede us.
Is that what happened the first time?
That is exactly what happened. They delayed, first of all, they delayed the motion for a long time. Each time we're going to take the motion, they will say they were not prepared. Eventually, after taking the motion, they whipped their numbers to vote against it. Fortunately, this time around, the Chief Executive says he would plead with his colleagues and the leader not to oppose. So it's good news for Democrats, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
So we will carry this motion eventually, I pray. An ad hoc committee set up. So all the parties in the value chain of this 22 billion losses as reported would now come. All right? We would invite the aggregators. Gold Board must bring all its books. Because they said they are ready. BOG must come. We would invite those we have to invite and have a live coverage, because 222 billion is huge sum. It's not.
You don't just want the motion to succeed, so you have an ad hoc committee. You also want a live coverage.
No, but they have been calling for transparency.
Yes.
The live coverage of proceedings.
Who's going to permit that? Who's going to allow that? The Speaker?
No. But it's in the interest of democracy.
I get that, but is it part of the motion to ask for a live coverage?
No, we don't need to. It's consequential. It's consequential. And with the level of public interest in this matter, we can't go into some corner bar and go and do this. There must be a live,
so Ghanaians can hear for themselves.
Can hear how much is being charged, who are the aggregators, how much went into them, the exchange rate losses, how much gold was shipped, who bought them, and all of that. BOG, the same data they gave to the IMF, they bring it before Parliament. Let's analyze everything. All right? If indeed, as they want us to believe, perhaps IMF did not do a good job, and IMF did not understand, and by extension, we also don't understand, let us do it. A 5-member committee, ad hoc committee, a 7-member ad hoc committee, or 9-member ad hoc committee. These are the discretion of the Speaker, who will say that it is 9-member committee. Minority, by your numerical strength, bring 3 people or bring 4 people. Majority, bring 5 or whatever. They will have the highest numbers. Then, before the cameras, Chief Executive Gold Board comes to make his case. Aggregators come and make your case. The various institutions that are involved, how they sold it, bring your books and all of that. And then parliamentarians, as part of their oversight, would then have the opportunity to analyze the whole policy. And we can do our report. The people of Ghana can judge. At that point, we'll be able to come to a conclusion whether or not there were decisions that could have been taken to prevent these losses. Then we'll determine whether or not indeed the policy failure as concluded by the IMF is indeed true. For now, we are relying on these losses to make these demands, we would come to a fair conclusion after we have interrogated the matter in a very transparent manner. And Paul, we have the expertise as minority. Our side will sit down and select those who understand this. We have them, okay, to face the institutions of state as part of the accountability process and demand it. And when we're done, everybody will know who is telling the truth. But for now, I expect all commentators to be fair to the truth. This is the only thing we are relying on. Nothing else. They should also read what we have read. And if anywhere in the report they claim that Gold Board is not connected to the losses, they should tell us. This is our source document. We've not said anything else. Simplicity.
Your last question I'll be asking you after we hear from social media is, people said that at the press conference you also threatened Sammy Gyamfi about bail, and some people say that it was a joke. There's a fight on social media. Okay. I'll ask you that later. Hold it. The Honorable Minority Leader, let me come to or you have something to say?
I have some further explanation on something. Mm-hmm. You see, again, I noticed that in the submission of the Gold Board Chief Executive, he argued that there are other players in the domestic gold purchase program. That can't be true. Mm-hmm. The reason is very simple. In the legislation establishing Gold Board, the law conferred upon it a complete monopoly. Exclusivity. In the purchase of artisanal gold. Yeah. So it is both a buyer and a regulator. So the law conferred upon it the power to regulate the entire sector.
And automatically buy all.
And also to buy all. So if you argue that there are other players, it can't be true.
He said that in his press conference?
Yes, and this is actually captured. If you read the Bank of Ghana report, it says survey data suggests that Ghanaian ASGM, that's artisanal gold mining, prices are among the highest in the region.
Yeah.
So they are telling us that be careful. Our artisanal gold, in other words, even gold that is bought from Galamsey, there's another argument. Mm-hmm. We have said that the gold purchase program itself and the way Gold Board was structured by law allowed for more Galamsey activities. This has been confirmed by the TUC, Organized Labor, in their 2025 May Day submission. The Secretary General boldly told the nation that since the assumption of the new government, NDC, Galamsey activities have gone up. Graphic Corporation, Graphic, on its front page last week, also echoed the extent to which Galamsey was destroying our environment. Several other studies have come out with alarming figures to suggest that Galamsey activities have scaled up. And we have contended as minority that the way the Gold Board activities have been structured, where no distinction is made between regularly mined artisanal gold and Galamsey gold, allows for a complete, increase in the Galamsey activity, such that Gold Board appears to be desperate for gold. You give money to aggregators, the aggregators get into the forest, get into the bush, get to the riverside, all they demand, we want gold. The aggregators do not come and tell Gold Board that Gold Board, we got this from Galamseyers. We got this from regularly artisanal miners. What they bring, you pay. Gold Board does not have a regulation. And this was one of the things we raised in Parliament. And they didn't mind us. They passed the bill at midnight. You see, I said in Parliament that our friends in the majority should not take us for granted. Paul, I can say that my colleagues, the 87 of us, research is what we do. From day one, all the trainings we had, the clear position we took was that, look, we don't have the numbers. Let's do research so that when we are arguing, we'll be well fortified. That is what we've all been doing. And we don't just come out and speak. That is one of the things that make us stand firm, unsoiled, and unshakable. So when I'm talking, I know I am on solid foundation. Before a statement like this comes out, it goes through a process. Our flag bearer would have to look at it. There's a tripod. The flag bearer's office, made up of experts, would have to look at it. The party machinery, with its directorates, with experts, look at it. And we, the caucus, have our colleagues. There are various platforms we debate. Somebody will go, check this data, check this, add that. So we don't just get up and come out and speak anyhow. Because MPP is a conservative party, very careful about its image. It wouldn't want to go out there and somebody will say, fact check, minority is wrong. Anybody who dares to come out to say we are wrong is himself doing mischief. And I submit, because we are on firm grounds. Any media house that will say that minority got something wrong is doing mischief, because that media house will not be doing justice and doing fairness to the whole to the whole process, because we did a lot of work. And what I came out to present was as a result of good, excellent work done. We crossed everything. I wish I took a video to show the back room. When the morning I took the report, I said, no, let me be double sure, because we know the public out there, they will scrutinize. Checked every data, made sure every information. I checked myself with my pen, underline, cross every T, made sure what we were releasing to the public would be unquestionable. So we are not lazy politicians who, because of partisan convenience, will come out there and throw things. We won't do that. I won't risk it. Let me conclude with something that the Gold Board Chief Executive said. His own report. You see, he was telling Ghanaians that, Auditor General has done audit.
Yes.
And everything is clean. Everything.
They have surplus.
Oh, don't worry. I mean, a book no lie. Mm-hmm. Page 11 of the report that he showed to the public.
The one he was relying upon.
That is correct.
Auditor General.
That is correct. Mm-hmm. Let's read page 11. Responsibility of the Board of Directors for the financial statement. This is what the Auditor General said. Quote, the authorities board is responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with International Public Sector Accounting Standard, into bracket IPSAS, Public Financial Management Act of 2016, Act 921, and its enabling regulation 2019, and in a manner required by Gold Board Act 2025, as well as the applicable accounting standard, and for such internal control as the authority determines necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. In preparing the financial statement, the board is responsible for assessing its ability to continue as a going concern. It goes on and on and on. My point is that if you say the auditors that you are saying that they did an audit, this disclaimer, this is largely a disclaimer by the auditor, telling you that you are responsible for the preparation of your own account. That the report that they analyzed, they did not
based
source
on what you give them.
Exactement.
Okay.
Exactement.
So the auditor is saying that I have finished my work based on what he gave
What
me.
you gave me.
But you, the reader, please be aware that the report came from them.
Paul, it is good to read.
But is it not a standard audit practice?
No, I'm saying that. So then don't go round to say that the auditor has cleared you, because, you see, there are two stages. where an auditor comes to you and deals with raw data, bring me your bank statement, bring me your receipt, purchases, checks, you say you have a property, bring me the land document, then he's gathering all the data, then he is doing his own analysis. What this disclaimer is saying is that you are responsible for your report. So, you know the good news? The good news is that with the hearing, the public hearing, we will now demand the primary data and juxtapose it against the management report they gave the Auditor General and ask our questions. We have chartered accountants.
So you're going to turn that into a forensic audit then?
No, we are not talking forensic. We are doing oversight. We are not forensic auditors. What we are saying is that we want to analyze the entire, gold purchase program. It's a policy. The IMF has concluded that the policy has structural inefficiencies leading to these losses. The IMF is saying that the losses are not as a result of economic costs. You recall that my good friend Senyor Hossi in the early days and some others argued in the early days that there is always an economic cost to policy implementation,
yes.
which I have said I agree. There should be some cost, but you have to measure that cost and determine whether or not that cost, juxtapose it against the gains, it is worth going into it. You've analyzed all the risk and all that. My point is that from what IMF is saying, I have not had the benefit of perusing their primary data. I'm relying on the IMF report. They are saying that this thing is not, the losses cannot be as a result of economic costs. So there are some structural challenges, design problems, and Professor Bobkin, Legon, the economics professor, has also reiterated that point, that he thinks that the domestic gold purchase program, which is being spearheaded by the gold board, has structural problems and is going to lead to some losses. And if they don't redesign the program and make it viable, it's going to lead us nowhere. They are denying that. So I believe that once Gold Board itself has agreed that there is a need for a transparent oversight by Parliament, and I believe that as he spoke, the majority in Parliament have heard him. The last time we were stampeded. We pray that this time there will be no numerical stampeding, where they say they are 189, they whip all of them to deny us the 87th opportunity to go into the books. So we are going to interrogate this, ask questions about the surplus, ask questions about why 2 days to the end of year, they now got the 4-point-something billion cedis. What has happened to it? How that was used? What were the gains? Etc., etc. And the Ghanaian people will come to a fair conclusion. We are committed to that. Now let me come to
the question I was asking.
The issue. You see, I said it on a very lighter note, but I also mean it. Let me explain again. We are dealing with losses. Once the state incurs a loss in implementing a policy, it is a financial loss to the state. And somebody would have to be responsible for decisions taken there too. Now, I wasn't directly attacking anybody. All right? I was rather stating the fact that, look, today, you in NDC, a lot of my colleagues are under investigation. A lot of former appointees are under investigation. Some of them, as a leader, I know, they say, oh, he took a certain decision, the board approved some transaction, and then there's a loss of some 5 million, 10 million, and all of that. I know. Some of them are worried. It's not a crime they've committed, but the state is investigating certain activities leading to losses. They go to Yoku, and then they are made to post very onerous bail. Some of them, they say, bring 50 million, bring property worth 100 million, and they sleep in Yoko for days. I was only drawing the attention that, colleagues, you are in government. Bear in mind that you will make mistakes. It's natural. You are human. In governance, there is no perfection. However hard you try, you will make some mistakes. There will be some decisions you may mean well, but in the end, something may go bad. So think about a China, so that if tomorrow somebody picks something and say, hey, 22 billion, and the state is asking you questions, then they say, okay, yesterday you demanded bail of a certain magnitude, so you should also go and bring 22 billion. I was just,
I get it,
saying it on a lighter note, but not to specifically somebody has committed a crime. I have to be fair. We have not done.
You are not alleging that.
We are no. I wouldn't. I would be fair, my brother. I would be fair. We are demanding answers until Parliament peruses and comes to a conclusion. It will be unfair for me to call somebody out and say ABC. I must be fair. I am demanding fairness from government. So I needed to make that point to also draw the attention. Because obviously, Paul, the way and manner our friends in government are handling all of us, our colleagues, is bad. I have argued consistently that I demand accountability. As for post-regime accountability, nobody can run away from it. You come into government, you take decisions after 4 years, after 8 years, whether you like it or not. Even if it is your own government succeeding itself, there will be some form of accountability. If accountability is not demanded after leaving office, CSOs, the way they are vigilant, will demand accountability even as you are in office. The media will demand accountability. So perhaps accountability must not just be looked at as post-regime, exercise. In all of these, all of us must be careful. So I was only urging my colleagues to be careful, because the way they are treating MPP, I go to Yoko. Do you think I'm happy going to sit at Yoko? Sometimes you go and stand there for hours. Some of your colleagues, you need them to come and debate. The time you need them for debate, they are reporting to BNI. I'm not questioning that. All I'm saying is that give the law and its enforcement a human face, so that tomorrow, if anybody is also demanding accountability from you, at least you can use it as a reference point that, when you were in office, you used a human face to implement. But if you are extremely harsh and unreasonable, you make it difficult for moderates in MPP to also argue that, Mayan sir, Paul, you are sitting here. You know how much effort I made as a majority leader in trying to restrain things. I can't say that in public.
I know.
All right?
I know.
Sometimes I feel bad when our friends forget that only yesterday we were all there for them, and we said that even if you are going through difficulty, there must be a human face to it. And our own party bashed us for being too reasonable. So I stand on moral grounds when I'm pointing to them that, guys, after 2 years, President Mahama,
2.5.
2.5. President Mahama is exiting. He's doing his bit. When he leaves, nobody knows how 2028 will go. But if we are political actors,
Nobody have a large majority.
don't worry. Look, the history of this country should guide every politician. Let me take you back. In the second parliament, where J.H. Mensah came in with his 61 colleagues, NDC had 133, super majority. This is not the first time they are smelling super majority. In just 4 years, the election that brought Kufo, MPP turned its minority into majority. We had 102. Put that aside. Fast forward. In 2012, we had 125. In 2016, we had 169. All right? We thought heavens have opened for us forever. We took things for granted. In just 4 years, we woke up the next day to 137. See how we struggled. The NDC that everybody thought NDC is broken. Oh, they can't come back. Our presidential vote reduced by half. Akufo-Addo won 2016 with over 1 million. In 2020, after all the good things we did, look at COVID, how we spent, the project, free SHS implementation, only to wake up to see that our majority has been reduced to 137. We struggled in parliament. I was deputy majority leader, became majority leader. I know how I struggled. We lost the speakership. Now, Akufo-Addo, it took the grace of God to go through the 4 years. Because parliament, when parliament is strong, no government can, run over parliament.
Now, was thwarted.
Right. Now, today, our friends get the impression that, all is good. 189 there. Ebi wom. 189 is ebi wom pa. These people, they can't defeat us. It's okay. I am telling them that be measured how you maltreat us. If today you are insulting Afenyo Markins, using unprintable words on my person, hiring social media people going to sit at studios of FM stations, TV stations, use vulgar language. The very thing that if you give them a snap, a Bible, a Quran to swear, whether it is true, they cannot. They are saying it for politics. I won't question you. I won't say anything. I won't sue you. But bear in mind that which you cherish melts. That one day, that is why in a noble society that I'm familiar with, it says that though distinctions amongst men exist to preserve subordination, ought no eminence of situation make you forget that we are brothers. For he who is placed at the lowest ebb of fortune's wheel is equally entitled to our regard. As a time will come, the wisest of men knows not how soon, when all distinctions, save those of goodness and mercy, a virtue, shall cease, and death, the grand level of all human, I lost the line, shall reduce us to the same state. Now, today you are in office. If yesterday I misconducted myself and disrespected my friends in opposition, I wouldn't have the moral authority to call and say, bro, you are wrong. I honored them. I respected them. They know. Sometimes they can't say it publicly, but they know that Afenyo Markins respects brotherhood. I respect a code. I don't dishonor friendship. We are doing politics. I'm the minority leader. I will do my work. But in so doing, I have due regard for your office. So if you think today you have the power, abuse me, it's okay. I won't go to court. I won't say anything back. You can say that, you undermining me and say whatever. J.H. Mensah went through worse. Che Mensah Bones went through worse. My brother are too forcing. Sometimes, I know who are mobile. Minority leader. It's not an easy office. Minority leader. Sometimes you can be lonely. When everything is going round, you have to do the heavy lifting. I'm ready to do heavy lifting for this party, MPP. My stepfather fought for the party. My mom fought for the party. My daddy suffered for the party. And it's my turn. I will fight for the party with a clear mind. And I won't shake. What we are telling the people of Ghana about these losses is the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. We expect the NDC to be reasonable in coming, eat humble pie, and admit that indeed policy failures resulted in this. So that perhaps we can look at the way forward. But to be attacking us, I will stay there, deal with the issues, and pursue it. However lonely I may become, I am doing this for the party, and the right thing will be done. Thank you very much.